What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are starting our NCAA 14 College Football Revamped rebuild series with the most requested team that I could possibly do here based on your guys' voting in the comments on the initial introductory video. And we're going with the U, trying to run it back, trying to bring it back, the Miami Hurricanes. Now, the number one actually requested team was Jacksonville State, team that Deion Sanders has taken over, and I'm gonna have to do some digging. I'm not sure how Team Builder works in the Revamped mod. I don't know if I'm gonna have to go down some deep dark web to figure out how to mod this to add an additional team. But for the time being, Jacksonville State is going to have to get put on hold. And the other teams, I saw Coastal Carolina, UCF. Those teams definitely could be next up on the board. But I got on board with the U. The U had a little bit of a disappointing year this year in this COVID-stricken season. They got a lot of guys returning. So we're going to act out this 2020 season. We're going to know what players are returning so that we could maybe influence them if they do decide to declare at draft time, at season's end. But it's a very, very interesting roster for us to take over here because it's kind of been transfer porter king. You know, they've got De'Aaron King to transfer from Houston, and obviously he's a guy that, at least if now returning, is going to have some Heisman expectations. You have a really, really healthy running back room. Cameron Harris and Jalen Knighton are absolute beasts. You have on the wide receiver spot, I'm only really familiar of Mark Pope of all these guys. We have the 94 speed of the senior Mike Harley. Wide receiver's not an absolute strength here for Miami, but tight end is. Brevin Jordan most likely will be a fringe first rounder if he does decide to declare, which he most likely should. Will Mallory is a legit beast. Hopefully, and most likely, he returns. So we have a lot of tight ends there that are talented. Offensive line is young. We got two sophomores on the left side. Center here, we have DJ Scafett there and Jared Williams. I don't know where... Zion Nelson has some upside, but where's Navon Donaldson? Unless he's injured. Navon Donaldson should be here somewhere. Defensively, they have Jalen Phillips coming out of, when high school, when he committed to UCLA. He was the best high school player. 5-star recruit. And I think that he is very much a legitimate first rounder if he goes to the draft. Say we have Quincy Rochet here. He is very, very good. I guess they figured out the guys that opted out. Maybe that's how the rosters are working. I'm not seeing Greg Rousseau. You have Silvera at D tackle. We got Huff, Jennings, and Zach McLeod at linebacker. In the secondary, we got Al Blades, DJ Ivy, Gervin Hall, and Bubba Bolden, who also returned for his senior year. So hopefully, if he is even though Frierson does look legit, if we can somehow kind of convince Bubba Bolden not to declare, that would be pretty happy. We have the beastliest punter in all college football. The guy, I think, Borealis won the Groza kicking award this year. So we have a hell of a special teams unit. Well, where the hell? Where's Greg Rousseau? Where's my guys? Did they edit them? They must have. They opted out. They are not here. Sensational. We got to find a way to win. You got to find a way to endure. Good luck. Good luck, De'Aaron King. So another introduction, just in case you missed it. We will be using real recruits. I was able to get a mod so that this year's of recruiting, 2021, as well as next year's 2022, I'll be able to hop in. Now, I will have to be honest. I've noticed there's a couple things that are a little bit suspect here. Looking at corners, we actually have one of the top corners available to us here in Deuce Harmon. And I'm pretty sure Deuce Harmon is not a white man. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit him once he fully commits. And I don't know if that's going to be an issue for a lot of players, that maybe they don't match up there to their actual appearance. But again, we're all working through it. It's baby steps. It's a brand new mod. This is a 5-year rebuild. Let's get into it. 2020 season with the U. Oh man, this is already starting so great. Going from preseason to the regular season, Leonard Taylor, who again, these names might not mean a whole lot if you're not super up with the college football recruiting, but Leonard Taylor was the only legit 5-star that the Miami Hurricanes actually got committed from that 2021 class. And he already locked us out, so that's sensational. So we have our week 1 opponent here in Florida Atlantic, and we have a much clearer picture about our recruiting board from the offseason into the regular season. Now, here's where things get weird. Obviously, there's going to be some issues. It's not going to be completely seamless. Leonard Taylor, that 5-star who legitimately has committed to Miami. I'm locked out, even though I'm in the lead. So I don't know if I'm just going to leave him on the board and we'll see what happens. Hopefully that works out well for us. But the rest of our players actually look kind of solid. We got Ty Keys and Miller Moss, 2 options here. We're going to keep the coals hot in terms of a quarterback player. We got Goodwin, who looks really, really impressive for a 4-star. We're currently leading some very small schools, so we should feel optimistic about that. Romello Brinson is actually a legit Miami commit that I'm trying to bring in, even though it looks like I'm swinging at the air. There's no chance. That's a lot of points to make up to the powerhouse recruiting team known as Illinois. George is another legit Miami recruit from this class. We have a little bit more realistic chance of getting him, even though he might not be the highest player. And then look at this, is just all name team. Leading him, Dink Jackson. Hell yeah. We got Willem McConnell at tight end. We know we should have a legitimate shot at that. Tristan Lee, 5-star tackle. We're in the top 10, and it's not too big of a gap. We could try and be competitive, even though Clemson in Alabama, all the teams that are ahead of us, we're a little bit worried about that for sure. We have a guard here. Lawrence Seymour is actually, I just kept him here, a legitimate 4-star recruit that Miami has landed. It's just unrealistic for us to actually bring him in, which kind of sucks. Here's another one, Jabari Ishmael, 74 overall, 4-star D-end out of Florida. He is a legitimate Miami commit. We're not going to be able to make it happen here, 4,000 points. A little too much for me to try to want to jump over. We got James Williams, though, a 5-star athlete out of Florida. We're currently leading, so I'm happy there. We got Bush that we're going to try and bring in, Nathan Bush from Pennsylvania. We have Anthony White leading for him out of Florida as well. So 3 athletes, which we'll have to scout and figure what position they play best. I need a kicker and a punter long term, so I'm going to see. You know, in NCAA, kicker, punter, just convert them, move them over. It's fine. So we got 2 all special teams there. We have Daniels and Jackson at strong safety. Good, you know, that's about the cutoff point for me to try to go after our players. Like, give me like within the negative 2,000s, and I'll try my best. So we're gonna see what happens with Daniels. No corners, no safeties. A little bit worried about that, but it is what it is. A little bit weaker. We have Terence Lewis, a 5-star outside linebacker. We're currently 2nd place in him, just behind Maryland. So we should feel kind of, optimistic that we'll be able to bring him in. Hughes, we're leading the bid there. At D-tackle, we have Leonard Taylor. Again, don't really know what's going on there. Peyton Page, another 5-star, the number 3 D-tackle in the class. We're still within his top 10, within 1,000 points of Clemson. So we're going to stick with it. So we have a chance to have a really, really solid draft class. And hopefully there's something in the algorithm under the hood that gives us a top landing destination for guys that are in the transfer portal as well. That's kind of what the U has been able to do over the last couple years. But looking at our schedule, for sure, we might as well just sim this game against Florida Atlantic. If we can't beat them, we're going to be in for a very, very long season. Got a big win to kick off the season, 35-7 over Florida Atlantic. At least we know we're not going to be that team that just, you never know on any given week if you're going to win. Solid performance there from De'Aaron King, getting player of the game with 2 passing touchdowns, even though he had under 200 passing yards. But this is the big one. Number 6, Florida, Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, and we have the outside looking in Miami Hurricanes. Trying to get it back. It might not be year 1, all right? There's a reason why we got to rebuild the U. Really exciting players, but to take on number 6 Florida is going to be quite difficult. I don't know how I'm going to balance gameplay in these rebuilds just yet. I don't know if we're going to kind of make it like the old school rebuilds where we just sim the regular seasons, and if we make the playoffs, we hop in and give it and go. But because this is a new mod, at least here in year 1, I want to get just a smidget of early gameplay here just to continue to gas up the College Football Revamped mod. So let's hop in and play number 6 Florida, even though from here on out, we're going to take a traditional rebuild approach where we'll just hop in and get gameplays once we start talking about national championships. Oh, dear Kingdom Mark Pope. Oh my God, this feels so weird. Feels so weird getting back into this NCAA football realm. In terms of gameplay, I'm so used to Madden, which is unfortunate. Let's see, 3rd and 4, my first big play of the game after. I'm just simming defense here to It's not 8 hours long to make this video. Plus, I'm a beast at defense. We want to give these other teams a chance. Oh, where do we go? We take off because it's college football. And this is exactly what the best athletes can do. 20 yards, the Air King. Oh, then we got Pope on the slants, 18 yards. We got Cameron Harris with the stiff arm, gets to the first down. Where's Breven Jordan at, though? That is our go-to guy, our premier red zone threat. Let's see if we, I like the play call. I love the fact that the auto play call here loves slants. Let's see, we got Breven Jordan is, might be a tough sell. Harley and Pope look like much higher percentage plays. Ah! Oh, he dropped it. All right. Take the points. All right. I'm ass. 3rd and 10. Scoring range here. Breven Jordan has 2 drops. Would love for him to make a play. We'll just scamper here with our feet. Get the first down. Come on, we need a tutty. Come on, we need a tutty here. We need a tutty here. That's not going to work. Fuller's defense is infinitely better, though, at NCAA Football 14 than they are in real life. This is real life. Miami would have 27 points by now. Gators' defense in 2020 was probably, and I'm going to be legitimately, bottom 5 in all of college football. They were so bad. As we go to Knighton out the backfield, Jalen Knighton, the freshman, 16 yards for the first touchdown of the game in the 9 minutes of the first half. Oh, let's go Breven Jordan. That is the big hitter that we needed. Screen pass here, 3rd and 7. Field goal range, just 1 points. Able to get it off to it's just well read by the Gators defense there. Long field goal attempt coming up from the best kicker in college football. 50 yards. Missed from like 20. That looks, God, I'm terrible at this. Just grinding the clock down. 4, 5, 6, 7 yards of toke. 4th quarter is bleeding away as we try to secure the biggest upset of the college football season here in week 2. Come on, Cameron Harris, untouched. I think that's it. I think that should be enough. That should be enough for the Hurricanes. Defense comes on the field. 2 minutes to go. And it's a turnover on downs. Utter dominance from the defense here. Manny Diaz got these guys playing at the highest level in all of college football right now. If you're doing this to Kyle Trask and the number 6 ranked Gators. There you go. Just letting us score the running offense here for the U. Dominant, but not as dominant as that defense. I would love for 51 seconds left this defense to complete the shutout. That'd be a staple game. Ah, there they go. They get a garbage one. Don't matter. Don't matter. The national championship aspirations, which starting this rebuild, I'm like, it might be a year or two. Maybe next year if we get the Eric King back for sure in this game. But you beat Florida like that, we might be able to do it in year 1. Kyle Trask can't believe it. As that's just Cameron Harris. You should just give player of the game to the entire Miami Hurricanes defense for an exceptional job. But 2-0 to start the year feels good. Here's hoping the sim doesn't have us losing to like FCS East in a couple weeks. So not bad, I guess. When all is said and done at the end of year 1, we finish in the conference championship game. A chance to upset number 6 Clemson, 10-2. I wonder what games we lost. I hope we didn't lose like any really, really bad games. But I mean, you never know. You could have a couple ugly losses. We beat Pittsburgh. We beat Virginia. Probably shouldn't have beat them by more. We dominated Duke. We beat Virginia Tech. We beat Florida State very handedly. We beat Wake Forest. We lost to North Carolina. Sam Howell, that ridiculous run game, was able to trump us. And I remember we lost to Georgia Tech. That's a bad one. out of all the losses, that's the L you don't really want to take. So a 2-loss Miami Hurricanes team, but a chance to upset Clemson. We're going to hop in. We're going to kind of do like a play the moments thing anytime we're in a championship game, just because that gives us a little bit more in-depth. Those are the stats, season stats here for our team. De'Aaron King, 30 touchdowns, 9 picks, 2,700 passing yards, running the ball. We get 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns for Cameron Harris. De'Aaron King didn't scramble as much as I thought, but hey, I guess, you know, if you want to make it at the NFL level, stay in the pocket a little bit more. Pope led the team with 8 touchdowns. Cameron Harris just dominated at the backfield yards. Little bit of a disappointing year there from Brevin Jordan, only 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. You would expect more out of the premier tight end there. TFLs look pretty good there. Jalen Phillips, 16 TFLs, 5.5 sacks. We got 3 picks from Takori Couch and Avery Huff. Bubba Bolden with 2 interceptions. Zach McLeod, 2 picks. Same with Blades. We got DJ Ivy. Okay. I mean, no shocking, you know, oh my God, we have an absolute stud on our team type performances this year, but still number 10 ranked, 10-2 Miami as we go in here, year 1 in 2020 in the ACC championship game against the Clemson Tigers. All right, look at the overall ranks here. I mean, you know, this is a top 6 versus the number 1 offense. Defensively, they're 4th. We're 8th. Like, respectable teams. Respectable teams. They got Trevor Lawrence there, 37 touchdowns. Let's send out Trevor Lawrence on an L. We all know he's going to be the number 1 pick. We all know this and that. But if he can have his final game being a loss to the Miami Hurricanes, we're going to kick it so we receive it in the second half. That's going to be something we can kind of hang our hat on here. So let's go right here, Sim. We'll go right to the end of the first quarter and see where we're at. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. They're coming out with a fury. 21-7. They're scoring on every drive. They have scored on every drive. And that is not really what we're looking for here. I mean, it is Trevor Lawrence's final game. They were going to go out strong one way or another, and we just didn't even keep it close. The same offense that was top 5 or whatever it was, the same defense that shut out, for most part, Kyle Trask and that high-powered Florida Gators offense, and we got worked in the 2020 ACC Championship game by number 6 Clemson, 48-14. This is the kind of performance that you burn the tape. You burn the tape, and we won't talk about it again. Let's get into the offseason and start things off for year 2. Never change NCAA football. Shai Werts from Georgia Southern is our Heisman Trophy winner. And we've got the privilege of performing in the Duke's Mayo Bowl against number 16 Indiana. So things went well. We got De'Aaron King is now the record holder for single season passing touchdowns, and we were able to win the Duke's Mayo Bowl 34-28 over Indiana. Sure, I'll take it. Something. We got something. We have something tangible here as we end this one. De'Aaron King was player of the game, even though it seems like a lot of it's going towards the Indiana sideline. But hey, 3 touchdowns to De'Aaron King. Got himself a new record. Now, top priority is convincing him, if he is leaning towards going to the NFL, convincing him to return for his senior season. I want to be like, well, I'm just an idiot, but because they had the opt-outs not in the game, I was like, well, maybe we'll have that whole, like, everyone that played this year could return, because De'Aaron King, clearly senior transfer from Houston, would not have another year of eligibility, and there we're just losing a really strong senior class. Harley was a really good target for us. De'Aaron King, the kicker, Jalen Phillips, Zach McLeod, and Quincy Rochet, the Temple transfer, all are declaring because they're graduating. Rochet went in the 1st round. Zach McLeod went in the 7th round. Did we get any transfers incoming, outgoing? Absolutely not. It's been a while since I've played NCAA and dusted off the boots here for recruiting. I'll take in our first year, 22 overall for recruiting class. We were able to land a 5-star, not the 5-star, the D-tackle that actually committed in real life. That was kind of glitched out and bugged out and, couldn't get him. But we got Page, 5-star defensive tackle. We got a 4-star running back, Goodwin, 4-star corner, Harmon, 4-star center in Clemson. A healthy dose of 3-star players with some upside, I think. So it's not a bad class. Again, it's not maybe the best, and I'm sure as we go along in this series, I get a couple more rebuilds under my belt, we'll probably start having some A-tier, top 5 type recruiting classes. But starting with a 22, that's nothing to be ashamed about. So for our 2022 recruiting, this is obviously some names of players that I'm a little less familiar with, but we got a good big board. I know some of them. I know Quinn Ewers, the top quarterback recruit here. He's actually number 19 behind Malik Murphy, but we're going in on Horn. We actually have a pretty solid big board this year in terms of like recruits that we have a competitive chance at trying to get in and signing. But here are the top players here. The top 5 stars. Again, I wish I was a little bit familiar with some of them, but I do know one for sure. Gunnar Stockton as well. I'm pretty sure he's almost 100% going to be a quarterback. But when we look at our big board as we gear up for year 2, there is a name that is incredibly intriguing. So we got a lead here on a couple good high quarterbacks here. Same with running backs. Like I think we're going to have a really, really good recruiting class. But look at this. Antonio Gates Jr., the son of legendary Charger tight end Antonio Gates, is incredibly interested to come into the U. There's some other big, potential schools in there. Florida State, Clemson at number 4. But that would be huge if we can get the son of Antonio Gates, especially in a position that I think we do need to hit on at least 3 of these guys, because our wide receiver drop-off in the coming years is going to be substantial if we can't start landing some big-time recruits. We have the number 1 tight end. We're in his top 5 offensive linemen. We have some competitive chances there to get some tackles that are legit. On the defensive line, we're in the lead for the number 2 D-end in the nation, Aaron Wilson. We got Marvin Jones Jr., not to be mistaken with the Detroit Lion. We got the number 1 DE. We're number 4 on the board. We have some defensive tackles there that are pretty solid. Some linebackers. We didn't get any real legit linebackers from last year's class. Gabe Moss, a punter. We need to replace Headley, who's a senior this year. And we got some solid athletes here. Ja'Curry Brown, awesome name. And we're within that top 5. So this is going to be an incredibly important recruiting year. A chance that if we get hit even on like half of these guys, we're going to have a top 10 recruiting class for sure. Let's get into year 2, 2021, as we open up the preseason ranked 14th. Week 1 is here. We kick things off against number 24, Tennessee. Not easy, not a gimme, but a great team, a great first game for us to hop in and be like, yeah, we're legit this year. But there's going to be big changes. Quarterback, we got N'Kosi Perry, who's an 89. It's not bad. We can work with that. Cameron Harris, Chaney Knight in our running back attack that was so dangerous last year is returning. We have Pope as our premier wide receiver, 92 overall, 89 for Wiggins, 85 for Peyton. Surprisingly, Breven Jordan returned as a senior, 98 overall. We got Will Mallory, 88. Probably if I could go back in time, I wish I could like redshirt one of these two so we can maximize the kind of potential that we have. But I'm happy with it. The offensive line is very solid. Navon Donaldson returning. I don't really know how they did that because I guess he opted out, but he's coming back, 91 guard. But I do think we definitely have one of the top offensive lines in the ACC, if not all of college football. Defensive end looks pretty strong. Defensive line in general looks pretty strong. We have an 86 linebacker, Jennings, 85. Brooks Jr., 85. In the secondary, Al Blades is an 88. Ivy an 86. Couch an 82. Led the team in interceptions last year. We got Gervin Hall returning as a senior at free safety. And Bubba Bolden returning as a senior at strong safety. With obviously the man, the myth, the legend, Lou Headley at punter, 93 overall. Very, very strong roster. But it's a huge get having Breven Jordan return for his senior year. Got to be top of the list for the Mackey Award winner, at least in the preseason. Let's get into year number 2 of the 5-year Miami Hurricanes College Football Revamped rebuild. 35-14 loss. Week 1, was not expecting that, but was not expecting that with a brand new quarterback in Perry who wasn't a game breaker when he last was a starting quarterback for the U. So at the midway point of year 2, unranked. We're 4-2, but a great chance, a great opportunity to become ranked, even though Lee Corso is taken North Carolina in this one. I preferred it when it was the other way around. We do have an upgrade here for Manny Diaz. We got to continue to work on his recruiting. His recruiting tree is not amazing for sure. So let's we'll just go kitchen sink, I guess. But really, you can't go wrong improving your scouting and recruiting coaching tree there. Big board, recruiting board. Here is how it lays at the midway point. We've got couple guys locked up, couple guys not locked up. No quarterbacks that really look good. We're still in the lead for our 74 overall running back, which looks good. We're grabbing all of our wideouts. We're getting Antonio Gates Jr., Faison Wilson, and A.J. Johnson. Feeling fairly confident we're going to land them. We got Ryan Shelton, a JUCO transfer tight end, which is not bad. Not much in ways of the offensive line outside of this JUCO transfer, Eric Kelly. 73, he'll be a good stopgap for the time being. We're still trying to get Marvin Jones Jr. here, but look at that. Two massive gets at defensive end. Shamar Stewart and Aaron Wilson. Thank you, please. We're still trying to get Lions, 72 D tackle. We're right there. We got Michael Williams leading for him, outside linebacker, 75 overall. We got Hunter Clark, 72 overall, middle linebacker. In the secondary, we're leading on Morion Horn, 71, and Jaden Mickey, 71. Strong safety leading on Josh Rosario. Let's up the points there, though. Wisconsin is looking a little bit competitive. Same could be said here for a punter. I mean, no one wants to spend a whole lot of money on a punter, but we are going to be down a punter next season. So let's try our best there. We're on top place, pole position for three top 75-plus athletes, McAdoo, Antwi, and Eli Hall. So it's a good recruiting class. Very happy with it. Much better than it was a year ago. Here's hoping Miami can sort their shit together and feature in an ACC championship game here at the end of year 2. And a disappointing year, unfortunately, at the end of year 2, the 2021 season. Even though we're ranked 19th, unable to play in the ACC championship game. It's probably Clemson and North Carolina. And it is. Both 10-2 were on the outside looking in. Even though we went 5-1 within the division, you can't expect to lose 3 games and have meaningful, end-of-year football, unfortunately. But, I mean, it was, hey, N'Kosi Perry was outstanding. Second in all of college football with 3,500 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, 14 picks for the redshirt senior. Running the ball was a little bit more underwhelming. Cameron Harris, not an outstanding year, but redshirt freshman Don Chaney Jr., almost 600 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's good. Build off that. Receiving 80 catches, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns for Mark Pope. Breven Jordan, there we go. This is what we needed. Last year, 72 catches, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns for what might be the best tight end in college football. Sacks are okay. Cameron Williams there, 19 TFLs, 8 sacks is pretty impressive. 5 picks. Gervin Hall Jr., who I thought could have potential to declare last year. Glad he returned. We got 4 picks here for outside linebacker Sam Brooks Jr. as well. That just sucks, pretty much. A waste of a year. Let's find out what meaningless bowl game we are going to be in. Heisman Trophy winner in 2021 was Master Teague III, running back for Ohio State. It's not, not a crazy year. Not a bad year, I guess. We got the Cheez-It Bowl, number 20, Miami going up against 8-4 TCU. Breven Jordan got the John Mackey for the best tight end. Congrats to him, but still in a very underwhelming season here for Miami. And at the completion of the year, N'Kosi Perry just broke Bernie Kosar's record for passing yards in a school season, as well as touchdowns, beating De'Aaron King. Mark Pope broke Leonard Hankerson's reception record in a single season. Breven Jordan broke Alan Hearn's receiving yards record in a single season. Very much impressive for a tight end. Same with touchdowns. Let's go. And we won the Cheez-It Bowl, baby. Put up 44 points. Some might say it's a meaningless game, but if there has to be a silver lining, I suppose the fact that we're able to have 2 bowls for whatever it is worth is something that's pretty good here. Not actually a great game from Perry. Mark Pope got player of the game, 10 catches, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. At least we got some hardware. We're filling up that trophy cabinet, but it's not exactly what we want. Maybe year 3, things will change with Van Dyke getting his opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. Players leaving, a lot of talent leaving. Mark Pope, Al Blades, Headley, Bubba Bolden, Devon Donaldson, Mallory, we're losing tight end. Griffin Hall is going to be drafted. Wiggins, Scaife, Cameron Harris, Breven Jordan, and we have Jalen Knighton. That's actually annoying to have him leaving. I mean, handle this. We'll play. It's a toss-up right now. I don't really want to make any other promises. I don't want to be a bad guy, even though he's looking at transferring to, I don't even know who USA is. San Antonio. There's our draft results. Put a couple guys in the league here. Happy with that. Breven Jordan, second rounder, was the best of the bunch. All I need is 1 year, baby. 1 year. We go from 22 to 3rd in recruiting classes. Very happy with this. 2 5-stars here. Stewart and Wilson at defensive end. Got 4-star strong safety. Got Antonio Gates, kid at wide receiver. McAdoo, athlete. Lyons at D tackle. An outside linebacker. Running back. Wilson at wide receiver. Johnson at wide receiver. And Antwi at athlete. All 4 stars. And we have some legit looking 3-stars guys that scouted out being like low 70s, high 60s, good value players. But that is one hell of a draft class for a team that's been underperforming like we have here in Miami through this season. Our opening day roster, year 3 for our number 17 ranked Miami Hurricanes. Here is how everything kind of lines up for us. Brand new quarterback. We have Tyler Van Dyke, 85 overall. You can see the massive drop off there. It's not good. So we got to find a quarterback that we can recruit and hope Van Dyke's going to be pretty damn good. Don Chaney at running back. Feel really high about him, 88 overall. Wide receiver, we have Jeremiah Payton, the junior, 92. Redding, the sophomores, an 85. Restrepo, 83. Like, we have a lot of depth at wide receiver. Really, really happy with that. At tight end, keep chugging along here. Mammarelli is an 85 as a sophomore. O-line is filth. Absolute filth. I think we have one of the best offensive lines in all of college football. Defensive line, Harvey's an 89. Williams is a 90. We get a 90 there in D tackle. Harrison Hunter. Linebacking core. Outside of middle linebacker, it's pretty good. Brooks returning, one of our best defensive impactful playmakers from a year ago. Secondary, we have Couch Dunson and Clark. Free safety, we got Avante Williams. And at strong safety, Gilbert Frierson, one of the all-stars of our defense here. As I would like to think, again, you know, we're only going to go as far as our quarterback will take us. Hopefully, it's pretty far. For recruiting, this is now on to generated recruiting classes. We got an okay board here. Some guards, some tackles, some wide receivers. But the big position is quarterback. Lamar Webb has been identified as our target. Chasing Clemson, which is going to be tough. But the 6'3", 4-star, number 10 ranked quarterback, he's the guy that we want. Even though he's not a traditional scrambling quarterback, more of a pocket passer, that's fine. But we absolutely have to hit on him and make sure that we can jump Clemson because our quarterback situation, a little bit dire behind Van Dyke. That being said, fellas, let's get into year 3. We'll regroup at the midway point where hopefully we're holding on to an undefeated record. Oh no, we're butt cheeks. No, we're butt cheeks. 4-3. Not even ranked. No. We beat Duke. We lost to Florida State. Virginia Tech. Lost. Why is Georgia Tech causing us problems like that? We lost to 3-3 Virginia and got completely outclassed. I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, when you go for a quarterback that has never played before, you don't really know what you're getting. Sorry, Van Dyke. Van shit. To be honest with you. Recruiting through this point. Let's see how the board is done. We've kind of set it up here. I think we have a couple guys that have committed though already. We're in battles for a lot of our top tier players, but we have a couple commits here. We got a 75 athlete, 74 quarterback Lamar Webb. There's a big get. We got a 71 linebacker, 75 wideout, 72 tight end. A couple jobbers down here at the bottom, but we got the QB Lamar Webb. That is huge for us. That's the biggest win in the season so far here in year 3. So at the end of the year, we didn't have any aspirations at 4-3 the last time at the midway point of really playing in the conference championship game, but let's just get the accolades over. Kevin Harris, the running back of South Carolina, is the Heisman Trophy winner. That's actually probably the most realistic one we've had to date. We're in the Red Box Bowl against Chip Kelly and the UCLA Bruins. Who cares? And who cares was also the same attitude our team had as we lose 37-31 in overtime. 4 touchdowns is the positive for Van Dyke. You can't help but look at the 2 interceptions as, you don't want that. Our rushing yards was pretty bad. Hodges had a nice game at wide receiver, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hopefully he can build on that to next year. But, it's one of those things, man. Bowl games, if it's not national championship game, I don't really care if my guys don't win it. It's all or nothing for the ACC championship and a natty. We finished the year. It wasn't a brutal year, but those interceptions, man. Van Dyke has to take his game to another level. Chaney, a little bit underwhelming. No 1,000 yards. No 1,000-yard receiver. 10 touchdowns there for Peyton. Hodges had the big game there in the bowl game. Hopefully he can take everything to a next level into next year. Defensively, a lot of TFLs. Sacks, Harvey, that ain't bad. 7.5 sacks, 26 TFLs. He could declare. Interceptions aren't freakishly good. Frierson, for being like our most hyped up player, only 42 tackles, 2 TFLs, 2 picks. Maybe had higher expectations than that. Our job security as we gear up for year 4 is a little bit on thin lines. Safe for now. Uh-oh. Outgoing players. Frierson's leaving on the back end of the defense. Traore at center. We have Brooks as senior. Only player we might be able to declare is Peyton. 3rd round's about the cutoff that, yeah, we got a mistake. 3rd round and beyond is like when I'm going to try and convince the player to stay. If they get 2nd or 1st, we'll just let them go in the sense of trying to keep it realistic. But Peyton returning, that's huge. 96 overall wide receiver coming back for the Hurricanes for year 4. Not as good of a signing class. We were 22, and then we were 3, and now we're 17. It's kind of what happens when, you're not winning a whole lot of games. But getting that many 4-stars still is pretty good considering how many games we lost. We got 2 4-star athletes there in Alfred and Dorsey at the top. A DN now. We're going to have a hell of a defensive line. Middle linebacker, Kane's a big get. London at tight end. But the biggest signing, I think, for us going forward is that number 7 recruit, Webb at quarterback, the 4-star coming in. Got to be able to contend, maybe even as a true freshman, to be our star quarterback, given the fact that Van Dyke, while he is going to be probably 90+ overall, 23 picks, we can do better maybe. Like your annoying math teacher, before we jump into year 4, it's time to show our work. See what we got going on. Van Dyke, though he most likely led college football with interceptions last year, is coming in as a 92 overall. Chaney's a 92. Got an 89 backup there. Goodwin, who we signed ourselves. He looks like an absolute psychopath. Peyton returned. He's a 98. Restrepo's offensively, we should be able to hang with any team in the country. Defensively, beyond the defensive line is where I get a little bit worried. Our D-line is absolutely filthy. But then when you look at the linebackers here, we have Huff, who's a 90. Inside, it's very soft. Outside, it's not bad. But the secondary is where we just don't really have an elite playmaker, or at least proven elite playmaker. Maybe that can be Avante Williams at free safety. But for the time being, I'm going to be a little bit worried about what we're working with on the defensive side of the ball. Let's get to the midway point of year 4. Hopefully, we have better success. Okay, well, 3-2 is not where you want to be, especially when you're in year 4. But, it all comes down to the final year. What can you do in your final year when you have all your seniors and stuff? We're still a relatively young team that will be better. We'll peak next year. We'll be a stronger team next year for sure. Our recruiting class is looking solid. At least we're getting players that we have been missing out on in years past. We got a solid looking lead there on a tackle. DNs have been fine, but linebackers we haven't been recruiting particularly well. And we're in the lead for Tyler Bell and JP Ewing. And both those guys look very legit. We're top for James Mills, an athlete. And so far, athletes have been mostly running backs and wide receivers. That's probably going to be the case here for Mills, even though he's a diamond. I like getting diamonds every now and again. House, however, is definitely going to be a corner of some sort. Look, he has 83 zone, 79 pursuit, 78 play rec, 80 press, 79 man. So that's going to be a great get for the back end of the defense. And it looks like we're going to get him. We're going to get Herring at center, which looks solid. We're not giving up on Chance Frazier, the tight end, even though it looks like he's either going to Texas or Florida State. Same here with the quarterback, Matt Wade, just trying to improve that room. I would like to say we're neck and neck, but we're 1,000 points behind Oregon right there. We have a couple guys secured already. We have Patrick Reese, 75 outside linebacker, Hakeem Logan, 78 middle linebacker, and Tremont Cannon, 74 D tackle, even though he's only a 3-star. So a 3-star, 4-star, and a really good 3-star are already secured at this point, going all in on the defensive side of the ball as we have a year and a half to make this Miami Hurricanes program a national champion, and clearly it's not happening this year. So at the end of year 4, at least we finished number 12. 8-4 is not a great record, but still to be ranked number 12 will give us a kind of good head start next year in year 5, when it's pretty much all or nothing. Looking at the conference standings, it's unfortunate that North Carolina's kind of become a juggernaut. They've been very good for the last 2-3 years. We kind of can go, going up against them. But number 2 in the Coastal in the ACC, and I think we'll be back better than ever. I don't know why I feel like that's going to be the case, but Van Dyke's 95 as a junior. He won't be leaving, so we should have a good shot at a 99 overall quarterback, which is very, very important. And he cut his interceptions down from 23 to 9. So there has been some progress there. Running the ball, Chaney will be coming back. Goodwin will be coming back. And that's dangerous. That's 1,700 yards and almost 20 touchdowns between the two. We will be losing 98 overall wide receiver Jeremiah Payton to the draft, even though his production is replaceable. Only 768 yards, 9 touchdowns. And all of our other wide receivers are only going to be better. Defensively, I mean, we're getting TFLs out the ass here. Austin Cave leading the team. Sacks could be better. Could definitely be better. A little bit more prolific, if you will. Jalen Harrell, the strong safety, led the team with 4 interceptions this year. But again, you look at the makeup of this team, you see if we get a lot of our juniors, underclassmen, returning for their senior year, we're going to be an absolute problem next year with a 99 overall quarterback. So, at number 12, we probably will get an okay looking bowl game, and we'll see if we could start our final push for a national championship with a bowl game victory. Heisman went to Lenneth Whitehead from Tennessee, who had 23 total touchdowns, around 1,600 yards. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who that is. Looking at all those players. Trey Sanders from Bama. That's about it that I know. We are playing in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, number 10, Miami going against number 15, Mississippi State. Okay, I think we can win this. We can win this and we can enter in next year with a top 10 ranking. That'll be pretty important. Hey, Peach Bowl victory. 50-48. Seems like quite the epic encounter here. Let's see what the final score was. Who played well? Did Van Dyke play well? That's what I hope. It was an overtime. Let's see. Give me some more information here. How many overtime? Well, that was a long overtime. It was 22-20 in total OT. Player of the game, Miami. Van Dyke, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks on the game. We had not a lot of rushing yards. Peyton, the senior wide receiver, 6 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was a prolific effort against the air raid, Mike Leach, and that Mississippi State team, and we were just too much. And that is going to very much help us. Probably, that should bump us up to 7, something like that in the preseason rankings next year, given the players that we are going to be getting back. A record breaker at the end of year 4 here, as Peyton has broken Reggie Wayne's career reception record by 2, 175 to 173, as well as Michael Irvin's touchdown record. All right, Peyton's just the GOAT Miami Hurricanes wide receiver in history. Weird. All right, this is easily the toughest and most assets we have losing here potentially, but I got to try to convince all these guys to stay. Because it's the final year, we might as well try to say, hey, we're going to guarantee a national championship. Van Dyke, need you to come back, because this is all we're doing. We're going all or nothing. Rivers at right guard. Conference championships, all we need. Williams at defensive end. Let's guarantee a natty. And there we go. Able to get everybody to retain that we needed to from the draft. We're losing some pretty vital seniors for sure. Obviously, a lot of guys in the 90s. Jeremiah Payton, the greatest wide receiver in Miami Hurricanes history from a production standpoint. Zion Nelson on the offensive line. 2 of our starting defensive ends in Harvey and Cam Williams. Both, 3 first round. That's still good though. We're putting 4 first rounders into the NFL, and we got everyone that was trying to leave early to return for what is going to be a all or nothing 5th and final year of this college football revamped Miami Hurricanes rebuild. Our final signing day is not amazing. At least we're top 25, back at 23, which is I think the spot that we had back in year 1. No 5 stars. We did get some solid 4 stars though. Logan at linebacker. We had a DN, two DNs, sorry, and Christensen and Matthews. Nichols at wide receivers, a 4-star. 4-star quarterback in Wade, and 2 4-star athletes in Mills and House. One's probably going to be a wide receiver, and I'm pretty sure House is going to be a much-needed get into the secondary for our squad. But the reality is, pretty much no year is this final recruiting class going to have a whole lot of impact on how things play out in the 5th and final year of the rebuild. It's more so just for bragging rights. Year 5 doesn't really matter for recruiting, unfortunately. Don't want to disrespect these recruits. We do have a lot of 4- and 5-star guys that are interested, so there could be a silver lining that if we don't reach our goals this year of a national championship, we could have a top 10 recruiting class, which would be kind of cool. But, you know, we got blessed with that number 3 opening day ranking. We've never been in a better position to win a national championship, so this is going to be important, and our team is pretty damn good. Van Dyke at quarterback is a 99 overall, which we locked out there. Don Chaney Jr. is 97. Goodwin is a 94. We have, I think, one of the best rushing attacks in all of college football. Restrepo, more of a slot wide receiver, but he's a 99. Redding's a 93. We have Smith as an 89. So those first 3 wide receivers are about as good as it gets. At tight end, Mammarelli is a 97 overall. Haven't had a tight end like that since Breve and Jordan. Offensive line, we have a 96, 88, 91, 98, and 86. So again, one of the top lines in the ACC, if not all of college football. D-line, we got a 93 and a 96 defensive end. 95 D-tackle Elijah Roberts with Peyton Page, one of our first high recruits, now a 92 overall. Linebacking core is probably the weakness of this team, and it's not bad. We get an 83 in Williams. Flagg Jr. is an 86 and an 88 for Austin Cave, who was our most productive defender last season. In the secondary, I converted free safety Avante Williams to a corner. He's 92 just to try to help out that unit. Marcus Clark is an All-American, and he is a 92, and we have Harmon, who's an 89. Free safety, Ballum is an 89, and strong safety, Jalen Harrell, who was also an impact player designation, is a 93 overall. So debatably the strongest roster we've had. The best starting spot we've had. Let's just not be underwhelming. This should be a double-digit win team at minimum. So we're at week 10, our mid-bye, I guess, mid-season bye, and we're number 2, undefeated. We've only gone up 1 spot, and we actually have had the number 1 for quite some time. We just dropped off to Tennessee. Okay, well, you know, we're looking at the big undefeateds. I mean, we got Georgia Southern down there. No one's giving them a bit of respect. But it's Tennessee, Miami, UCLA, and Texas are the big schools in play right now for the national championship. Yeah, I don't know why Tennessee vaulted. Okay, yeah, I guess they beat Alabama. That's a better quality victory than us. Yes, skimping by Duke, 35-28. Statistically speaking, I mean, we got Van Dyke, who has the second most passing yards. Chaney is top 25 with 17 rushing. Not much there in terms of receiving. We have number 1 and number 2 for total tackles in Flagg Jr. and Austin Cave. Sacks aren't great. Interceptions aren't much better. So, you know, kicking leaders. People care about kicking leaders? Probably not. Probably not. So let's just hope we don't have any bogus losses and we can at least get into the ACC championship game. And the winner of that will most likely go on to the national championship. Step 1 is done. End of year 5. We're number 2, undefeated. And there's a massive conference championship game against number 17 ranked Florida State. We'll hop in sim that one. And either watch our championship kind of all come to fruition, or we're going to watch it all come crashing down. We should be able to beat Florida State. I'm pretty sure we beat them earlier in the year. But as you see in the top 25 polls, I think Tennessee's still first, which they are. They're undefeated. Texas is also undefeated. Georgia Southern, for God's sakes. All right, well, Texas does not have a big-time matchup this week. It looks like we win, we're in. It's going to be us versus Tennessee. If we lose, it'll probably be a Texas-Tennessee final. Looking at our stats here for the year, just because, you know, let's just see what we see where we're at. Van Dyke, number 2 for yards. Rushing yards, Chaney went over let's just look at the whole team. This is easy. 32 touchdowns to 5 picks for Tyler Van Dyke. Good. 1,100 yards, 18 touchdowns for Don Chaney Jr. absolute beast, best running back we've had so far. No 1,000-yard receivers, but 8 touchdowns for Restrepo, 10 for Smith. We have on the defensive side, Corey Flagg Jr. leading the team with 65 tackles. We got 6 sacks from Chance Williams, 6 sacks from Peyton Page, 3 picks from Marcus Clark. And I'm not really seeing an electrifying, game-changing player on our team, but we're deep. We are very, very deep, and that is going to be enough, I think, to propel us to an ACC championship game and a national championship berth. All right, fellas, this gotta be a dub. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's Florida State. I mean, they're not bad. They're like, you know, they're very much a 9-3 team. They could upset us for sure, but this should be, at minimum, like a 10-point victory for Miami. So let's just go right to the end of the first quarter, see where we're at. We start out hot with a touchdown. Florida State able to kick a field goal, but we're pressing here. There we go. 2 straight touchdowns, 14 to... I mean, come on. Miami got to be back. Can't do a Miami Hurricanes rebuild without the Canes being back. And we're going into halftime up 4. You can see we're running the ball well. Van Dyke is throwing the ball well. No turnovers. That's always kind of thing with me with Van Dyke. We remember 2-3 years ago when he was our starter, 23 interceptions. You never know if that's going to creep its ugly head up at some point, at least when it's least convenient. But that isn't a goddamn effective victory. 49-24. Miami gets the dub, and we're going to the championship game. Looking at the Heisman here, Don Chaney Jr. coming in as a runner-up behind Corey Kiner. That actually had a pretty solid year there for Ohio State. But we have Van Dyke winning the Maxwell. I don't really care about that. Austin Cave winning the Chuck Bednarik Award. Van Dyke winning the Davey O'Brien. Chaney winning the Doak Walker. Cave winning the Dick Butkus. We have the best linebacker, the best running back, the best quarterback, the best corner with Clark getting the Thorpe, as it all boils down to this. Undefeated Miami, undefeated Tennessee, the national championship game. Let's get into it. Very quick, tail of the tape. Corso is taking us, the Canes. You look at the matchups there, it's very evenly matched. We have an A+ defensive rating, which is an advantage for us. Their offensive stats are better. I don't know if they've had easier, tougher opponents. I mean, both these offenses are top 5 offenses. You flip to the defense, though, we're top 10. They're ranked 24th. So it's going to be a close matchup, but come on, man. Writing's on the wall here. The U can come back in year 5 in the dying moments of this rebuild to become the #1 team in college football, which is the goal when we started this. We'll Papa Bear this. I feel like that's the fairest way to do it. We'll hop in if things get a little bit weird, but I generally want this team to achieve its national championship for the team that we've been able to build and develop. So let's go to the end of the first quarter, see where it gets us. Looking here, Tennessee gets the opening score, but we're able to go right down the field and tie it up at 7 apiece. And we open up the second quarter with possession, and we're able to punch it in with a drive. I think it was Van Dyke with the rushing, the QB keeper. 14-14, going into halftime, 21-14. Miami is up. Let's get to the end of the third quarter here. We get first ball, and Mammarelli, the tight end, gets a long touchdown, up 14 right now. This is a very much back-and-forth game. It's rainy. Oh, I feel like we got to get a possession in here. Let's get a possession in here. Oh, Van Dyke, there we go, wide open. Hell of a scheme, go with the play action. Shelton just runs 2 guys over. Backup tight end, big time gainer deep into Tennessee Vols territory. Look at that, brand new record, Van Dyke. Most passing yards in a season by a lot. He's already had that record. Slants, 3rd and 8, need it. A little bit of slants cheese if we need. Redding and Restrepo, our 2 best receivers. Got Mammarelli at A. Actually, he's probably our best guy. But... oh, fuck! Kick it. On defense. Come on, defense. Gonna stop. Kicked field goal. Chance to win it. $1:12 to go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Dink Jackson. What it do, Dink? Mammarelli. Oh, that's just all rookie. That's just all rookie defense there. We're a better offense than they are defense. Let's put a timeout. No rush. Now, if they were smart, they would let us score here. or we're just going to score anyways. Don Chaney, best running back in the nation, punches it in 29 seconds for us to hold on to get our national championship, to bring the U back. Come on. Yes! Took longer than expected. Took almost an hour. But we were able to secure a national championship for the Miami Hurricanes. Our first NCAA 14 College Football Revamped rebuild goes in the books as a successful one as we get to hold up that crystal trophy fresh off the tails. I literally am recording this right after we saw Alabama kick that crap out of Ohio State in the real life national championship game, which was shocking to absolutely nobody. But that's a hell of a victory right there as Tyler Van Dyke goes out. Wanted to go to the NFL last year. Convincing return, gets the player of the game as Manny Diaz gets to hoist the national championship. And that puts a cap on our first rebuild. So, guys, I hope you did enjoy. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. A lot more college football, NCAA content coming on the way. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this rebuild, make sure you leave a comment about what school you want to see up next. Can't do Jacksonville State just yet, so let's just chill on that one. And I'll see you guys back here on the next one. Thank you for watching our very first College Football Revamped rebuild, and I hope you'll stick around for more. It's C4 saying peace out and see you later.